crazy, man.
I was like, Jackie, I was just like, we should go.
I was just venting.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think we'd actually eat. And he's like, you eat steak
at
now.
4 in the morning.
Like,
hey, bro.
Wow,
standards.
It was good too.
Standards. What kind of steak was it? Just like sliced up steak? Or
yeah.
Like full on like.
It was full on. Like it was T-bone.
Oh, you know you like the T-bone.
Yeah. You like the bone and the T.
Well, guys, we've been rolling, so this is good. I like how we started it off.
Oh, okay.
That was solid.
Welcome back to episode 3. This is Humble Bumble, where I'm humble
and I'm Bumble,
and we get you the latest buzz.
Hey, that's actually the name?
No.
Oh, man.
Did you see him?
I'm like, alright, what?
Ty's just like.
I went to high school with these kids.
It is clever.
That was so good.
We gotta keep doing that.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my gosh. But for real, this is the Baxter Phil show. I'm Baxter.
Phil. And this is Ty.
And we'd like
Sam.
to introduce our first 2 guests on the podcast. And
special needs.
Ty, why don't you introduce yourself?
You just did.
Say your last
Do it
name.
again.
Do it again.
Do it for the camera.
What's up, y'all? Ty Bailey. I did the job.
And I'm Sam Phillips. Holy cow.
Set the bar high.
This is going to be a good episode.
Oh, man.
Baby steps, bro.
This episode, we're just going to be talking. Basically, that's it.
Yeah. About what? Not.
A lot of different things. We'll start off with how I can't have kids.
Right.
And then we'll work our way as we go into different things, whatever you guys want to talk about. Just bring it up, and we'll...
Ty, you sweating right
Debate
now.
it.
I can see that you're pissed.
And,
It's getting, wow. Nice.
Yeah. And then, who knows, maybe we'll talk sports later, if we're good.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
So you can't have kids, huh?
Can't have kids, nope.
You want to find this out?
I found it out about 2 months ago. I went to the doctors, and I kind of knew, like, my mom told me, like, the chances before I figured out, like, she's like, you know, guys with CF, like, it's harder, like,
CF
they can't
stands
produce. Cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis, 65,
65, 6 flags. 65 and 6 flags.
All I know is that I have it. And,
Is it a genetic thing?
It's, yeah, well, so you can be a CF carrier. So when you're going to, like, let's say you and your significant other, you guys are expecting. Sure. You guys have to go in and test to see if you guys are, in fact, CF carriers. Both of my parents were CF carriers, and they didn't even know it. You won't know it until you go and find out. So, like,
just like the coronavirus.
Right.
yes, similar.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I
Come
don't
on.
need anything more.
Oh, he's gonna have it.
Sam's gonna wake up next week.
Yep,
I got it.
Yeah.
So, both my parents were carriers, and my sister, when she was born, they actually didn't know, like, she had CF, like, she was showing a bunch of symptoms and stuff like that, and a year and a half into her life, like, she was, like, about to die. Like, her stomach was, like, bloated as ever, and, like, my mom was very scared, and then we went to Children's Hospital, which we still, you know, go to for all these tests and stuff like that, and they diagnosed her in, like, 10 minutes, like, she has cystic fibrosis. And back in, like, this was back in, like, 95, so, like, they didn't have what we have now, which is, like, our machine. They just came out with our enzymes we take for every meal in 93. So, like, this was just all brand new. People, before the medicine, before the pills were invented in 93, kids would only live till, like, 3 or 4 years old with cystic fibrosis. If that, if they were lucky.
And so you're a miracle.
What is it? Well, yeah, because we have technology.
Yeah. We got technology now.
Yeah.
Technology now.
Okay. So what exactly, like, cystic fibrosis, what does it affect on your body?
So it affects your respiratory in your lungs. So, like, you know how smokers, you know, you get that smoker's cough
Yeah.
after a long time. I already have that, like that cough, that dry,
Your lungs are failing.
yeah, where your lungs are like congested.
Right.
But ever since Trikafta, the new medicine came out, which was like a major breakthrough, and it's still breaking through in tons of ways. That just came out, you know, just the beginning of this year. And people started using it. I just started using it like 3-4 weeks ago. And it has completely changed how I breathe and everything like that. Like I can feel the lower lobes of my lungs, which I've never felt in my life before. So like,
So how do you breathe now?
great.
Through his nose.
I can
I was waiting for it. Come on, I had it. Damn.
I breathe through my butt.
Oh.
Hey, that explains 3 minutes ago. That's why you pulled
That's
out
why I
the
like
bag.
T-bone.
Oh, God.
No,
Go.
but
Parent.
yeah. So
He goes out.
I knew.
How did it taste?
What, the medicine?
No, your intake.
My intake?
Yeah.
Pretty normal.
So it's not. I would think it'd be pretty shitty, but
It's like sucking. Like if you fart, you fart outwards. Well, I'm farting outwards and inwards.
So it's not a fart then. It's a tart.
So
tart.
like
It's
sucking in farts,
It's just
and
sharp.
pulling out farts.
How does that happen at the same time?
It's bass backwards.
You just spread your cheeks, bro, and then
But it doesn't make no sense.
Whoa!
even if you like fart and you burp at the same time, it's coming out 2 different ends. So therefore, if you're farting in and out at the same time, that creates a vacuum.
I don't want to talk like this. Holy crap!
Today's episode. of
So
Ponder the
anyways-
Questions of the Universe.
It's a huge
To bring a
question.
full circle around,
Full circle, eh?
I went to the doctor's appointment. They told me I couldn't have kids because something in my testicles that contains the sperm when you ejaculate
So your testicles.
is, yeah,
It's dead.
it's like disconnected. But if I wanted to have kids, if I wanted to really have kids,
Untie your
my
juice.
significant other, I'd have to tell the doctor to put my sperm in a tube and shove it in her, if she'd accept that, and then I could have a kid.
Well, I hope she would accept that. I mean,
Consent is important.
Consent is a huge thing. If she
What
says
is?
no,
Yeah, it really is.
yeah, I mean, oh yeah, absolutely.
It's like the doctor goes up to, too bad.
no point. Too bad. No point. Oh man. Okay.
All right.
Well, that's
but,
that's
yeah,
interesting.
cool.
Cystic fibrosis.
Yes, yes, it is. It's one hell of a disease.
Yeah, and then there's brooms that stand up on themselves.
Nice.
What a transition.
Yeah.
Only happens once every what, 200 years?
400
No.
something.
I thought you said
NASA,
100.
Unless NASA says
I don't
otherwise.
know. NASA, like, not that long ago said Pluto's
So
not
we'll
a
have to
planet,
try it
and
when
is
it
a
comes up
planet,
again,
like-
right?
Huh?
Yeah.
Like when it comes around again, we'll have to try it. Right?
Right?
Yo. When it comes around, where?
What?
When the
Like the
brooms
Green
stand
Day
up
song when
again.
it comes around.
you know,
When the brooms,
you know,
when the brooms
goes
stand up
around.
again, we'll need to try it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have
Yeah.
a? Do we have a?
Yeah.
no.
But it already passed. We need to wait.
It was a joke.
We need to wait 400 years.
Do you?
And then we should try it.
Wait real quick.
I don't think he doesn't get it.
It's kind of important to me that you know that, like, that's fake.
Yeah, I know. Every day you can do that.
Oh no.
I'm not convinced you believe that.
No, no. Yeah, that wasn't convincing.
Every day. Okay, go do it. Do it.
I don't know.
We don't have
I was just going.
We
to
have
the
these things
show.
called vacuums. Brooms died in '93, just like everything else did, but it's okay.
Except for CF.
See,
that
I
actually,
stuck around.
yeah, that actually breakthrough. Boom, medicine.
Yeah. True story.
So,
Yeah.
what's next? Ty?
Ty, what do you got?
Is water wet?
Oh man. We already had this talk.
We did.
Yeah, that's
They had this talk for like 20 minutes.
It's wet.
Tell us a funny story that happened in Cleveland.
Way to put me on the spot like that. It's Cleveland, like,
Well,
not
look,
a lot really
so-
goes on that's great.
So, Tino and I were talking about the story.
Had
Too much
two
beer.
beers, and
In his standards,
had
too much to drink.
yeah. And so we're coming home, trying to get into the car, or whatever. We're getting going, and we hit the highway, coming back, and all of a sudden he goes, "Man, I don't feel very good." So I told you to reach in, grab him, give him the bags. So you gave him the plastic bags, and Jackie goes to throw up. I'm like, okay, I got the plastic bag. Well, in like mid, almost him throwing up, he goes, "Man, there's a hole in this one." I was like, "Then grab the other one." I'm like, what kind of common sense do you gotta have here?
Oh my gosh.
And so then he's just going to town or whatever and throws up his entire evening and whatever.
And then he gets
And
out
then,
of the car.
no, we're on the highway. We're going
Yeah.
through Fairlawn, that little stretch through Fairlawn or whatever, and he has the bag. He goes, "What do I do with it?" I was like, "I don't know, throw it out." And he goes, like now? No, like tomorrow. So he takes the bag, I roll the window down for him, he goes like right now? I said, "Yes, Jackie, right now." He goes, "Okay." And closed the window like nothing ever happened, then he passed out. Just like that.
Just wait until like you see somebody walking down the street, go up to me, go.
We're going 75 on the highway. I don't think it was walking.
Do you remember how I explained that girl? Like,
Oh yeah, no.
okay,
She
so
had-
tell
that-
how he explained that girl.
he goes, "Man, it's like you took a mouthful of like cigarettes and just made out with it."
Oh
And I was like,
God.
"That's tough, man. I don't smoke or do any of that, but no thank you." I mean, that's one of the biggest
Just dry and
turnoffs.
cancerous.
That's one of the biggest turnoffs
It is.
ever. I mean, I'm not a big fan of smoking with guys in the first place, but when it comes to like feminine stuff and how like being raised like a lady, like, I mean, if you looked at a girl and she had a big old dip in smoking with a woman, I'm pretty sure you'd be like, "Hey, that's me right there, boys."
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah,
what
I
happens.
don't know. There was this girl in the military, and she could put a big old chaw in, and it's like debatable. It's like,
See, I don't know. Anything to do with tobacco is bad, man.
You know what? Everybody prefers different things, but
I like breathing, so
I'm.
out of my mouth,
Yeah.
out of my mouth, not my butt.
yeah. Seriously. I like to taste air, not shit.
Well, is it really tasting shit if it's your ass?
Whenever you breathe in, you taste
What?
whatever you breathe in, right?
Wow. Whoa.
If your ass
jeez.
is breathing,
You got issues.
you got issues.
That's an issue.
Definitely. But if your ass is breathing, is it really breathing in
Yes, it's breathing.
shit or is it breathing in air? Because your butt is the shit.
You need some Febreze. Clean that up.
I feel like my anatomy professor would be like really upset that I'm a part of this.
We're stuck in the butt, Sam. We need
I don't even know how we got in here. We're just talking about women. Now we're talking about our asses.
You brought that up.
You brought it. Well,
You brought it up.
He brought it up.
But
yeah.
you went with it.
yep. Well, so rock the docks.
Stop.
Nah,
Story
that's
Well,
He's
Besides-
wearing a t-shirt.
yeah, I mean, it happens every year in our hometown. You know, nice little carnival around the lake.
Well, like,
Springfield. I mean, the lake we're built around, I guess. But you know, those sketchy carnival rides always a highlight to my ear.
Dude.
You know?
My favorite one's the one you get in and you get like, there's
What do you
nothing, and that's the thing that straps you down.
it's the one that you ride, right?
He
You
does
don't
all
technically ride it. It's just kind of like you get in it and it's.
oh,
Right.
screw that. That makes
Oh,
sense.
so
ride it,
like
you
where
don't
it's
ride it.
like
It's
you're
the
flat
wall.
against a
It's the
wall.
You
Yeah,
just go,
I like that one, but I
How'd
also
that-
like the one
How'd
like.
that go again? I just want to make sure. One more time.
Done.
Okay.
Somebody
Ad
threw
libs
up
are
in
done.
that when I was riding it,
That happens a lot.
and
You had what?
somebody there was somebody who threw up in it as it was going, and it got on like a few people as it was going, because like
You ever seen The Sandlot?
no.
Oh, you've never seen The Sandlot?
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yes!
That's the only part I know, but I've never seen it.
I mean,
Disowned.
I
Dishonor
mean,
you,
whatever.
dishonor your family, dishonor your cow.
whatever. I mean, you do you. But it's okay. Cool reference though for everyone else who saw it.
I had never even knew there was a two. Was it as good
No.
as the first?
No.
It was
Are
okay.
sequels ever?
I didn't mind it.
I mean, think about it.
Wasn't there a third one? No.
I don't
No,
I like
there's a few movies.
Avengers 2 was better than Avengers.
know. Okay, I mean, let's think about it here. The
That's
only
true.
one I can think of
That's-
off the top of my head
that's
is like
true.
Empire Strikes Back. That's about it.
What?
Yeah. Godfather Part 2, that's another one. But
Avengers Endgame.
that's like Part 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 4 of the Avengers, if we're talking total, it's like 21.
Yeah, we're talking about second movies.
Yeah, so like what? Empire Strikes Back, Godfather 2.
Cars 2.
Toy Story 2 was pretty good.
Okay, I'll give you
Toy Story 4.
No, we're not. No.
Just the second movie.
Cash grab. Terrible.
Oh man.
You're not siding with that one.
They just had to throw some stuff in there just to like.
Toy Story
Ruined
4,
Toy Story.
I think, ruined Buzz.
Yeah, they
Ruined
made him
everybody.
dumb.
It made him, like, dumb. Yeah.
I haven't even seen it. I just know that Woody's gay now.
That's
He's bisexual.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
He likes his preference. Shout out to Disney.
Shout out to Disney.
He goes, "This is for ruining my childhood." He goes,
Yeah.
It's Pixar.
I forgot about that.
No.
Disney owns Pixar.
Well, yeah, but it's Pixar that made it.
But like that first movie was in conjunction with Disney though.
Sure.
And then Disney was just like, no,
Sure.
we own you. And Disney will own all of us one day.
Harry Potter.
Disney
2.
Plus.
The second one was better than the
I'll
first.
be honest, I hate all Harry Potters.
They weren't. They were only good if you read the books, and then they weren't even.
I didn't even like the books, honestly.
How do you feel about Twilight?
I wasn't into
I
Twilight.
thought that was going to be bait.
Something like that.
I was into Maze Runner. Maze Runner was good.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
I was so excited for what Scorch Trials came out.
Yeah.
They're gonna come out there like. Was that part 1, part 2? Or was it?
I think it was
the
2. I
what
think
is it,
Scorched
the Death
Trials.
Cure?
It didn't end, right?
Yeah, no. The
It
third
didn't.
one.
No, it did.
No.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
third
the
one
third
just
one
did
came
so
out.
badly that
They
like
needed the fourth one to finish it off.
oh, I didn't even know there was 4.
Yeah, there was. You have Maze Runner,
Scorch Trials and
and
then the Death Cure, isn't
Death Cure. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, there's only
it? And like he broke his leg like halfway through filming, so that's why it took so long to come out.
Oh.
Like the guy who had the lead.
Mm.
See, I
Guy who
love
played
the
Thomas.
first movie.
I
Like,
just
Right.
enjoyed
It
it. I
was
just enjoyed it
amazing.
because
I didn't
got
like the second
eyebrows.
You didn't like the second?
no, because
second
like you were
was
saying
good.
about the books, like if you read the book, Scorch Trials,
Yeah.
it.
Well, it's
does
kind of like the
not-
Hunger Games too.
Hunger
Games
Games
is
was
good.
good.
Yeah,
Hunger
but
Games
it's like
is
if you
good.
read the books, then watch the movie. There's so many like
Well,
different things.
yeah, but here's my thing though. Like Hunger Games, like if anything was changed or cut out, you can understand it was for time's sake or just because it was easier on screen, right?
Sure.
For the Scorch Trials, they made a new story from scratch.
I didn't read the books. So
Yeah, there's like one scene that happened in the movie that happened in the books. So that's about it.
Okay. So I guess it's different. Alrighty. I mean, it is what it is.
I was excited for it. I thought it was gonna be like.
Well, the
Which
third
one?
movie, I thought the first 2 were good. And then the third movie, I was like kind of disappointed with it because I was like,
Yeah.
just the way they went about it.
Well, it's funny because it was.
It just seemed like the action was just too much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like when you get pumped for like action scenes, like these like big moments in a movie. But in this one, it was like they were kind of stretching it a bit.
So there was not enough drama for you.
Yeah, like it was like it just like escalated
Storyline.
too quickly out of everything.
It was a
just-
pretty long movie though.
That's fair.
Yeah, but and then the ending, it just like it didn't satisfy you.
It was a happy end.
I know, but it like
Wait,
wait,
he got on a plane, right? He got on a plane at the end.
Mhm.
Is that the one I'm thinking
I
of?
think so.
Oh, so
I
didn't see the
forget
last one.
most of the movie,
I
but
think yeah. I think he got on.
'Cause,
a
like,
plane.
I
second one
remember
made
the
me that
parts
mad.
that were like I remember when that the one kid died. That was in either
Eyebrows.
movie.
Eyebrows.
That never.
No, not him. The
You know what I'm talking about? You know
the smart kid in the first one with like the blonde hair,
the eyebrows.
not the eyebrow kid.
No, he was tall.
Where's this emphasis on?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
I know what he's talking
Taller
about.
with blonde hair. I think he was a British actor.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's British.
Yeah,
actor.
yeah, he's
got, like,
he's
the-
not
died
supposed
in
to
the
die
third.
until like the last one.
Yeah, he died in the third one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what happened in the book.
yeah.
Because he got the coronavirus.
That I mean,
I don't know.
That's the term they use.
Nobody's dead. There we go. Oh, bummer. Sorry, guy.
but yeah, I mean, the first 2 I thought were amazing. The build up was amazing, and then the third one just like it just didn't. Yeah,
It was the cool thing about Opinions.
Did you think it was good?
I liked them.
You liked all? You liked the third one?
I hate drama. Man.
He also liked Twilight.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Team Jacob, I thought.
his opinions are.
You still have that hashtag Team Jacob on your Twitter.
Oh yeah.
No, he has it tattooed on his back.
Oh yeah, you do. Show him.
I should. If it was there, man, I totally would.
It's just
And if I had a Twitter, I would totally show
He's
it.
got an entire
Terrible.
backpack all the way down. It's just a cover, like
It's just a
poster
wolf.
of New Moon. Like that's it. Like
It's the post. It's the movie cover, man. I was at the premiere twice.
It's just Jacob shirtless. Hashtag Team Jacob.
He has makeup in his room. It's just powder. It's just white powder.
It's got the
like,
life
oh,
size.
give
Well,
that
that's-
vampire look.
That would be Edward, right?
So you
I
did
don't
watch
know.
it.
No!
Wow.
Respect.
He's playing for both sides.
Team player. You gotta get the best of both worlds.
Show him on tape.
Vampire.
It's like,
Come
you
on,
was-
at least somebody got the reference. For all the young kids out there.
We all understood it.
you know, once upon a time she was not, you know, Wrecking Ball, or that's even been a while now. That
I don't know. That would wreck my mind.
It was probably like what, 5 years ago, the whole Wrecking Ball thing.
Not long enough.
She's still crazy, but she's crazy with more hair now
That's true. Touche.
because she.
Is that where we draw the line?
Yeah, that's where we draw the line.
Well, yeah, Britney Spears, she shaved off all her hair and she went nuts.
Okay, one could argue that like that happened after she kind of cracked under the pressure.
But it proved what was going on.
Doesn't matter.
And she's still crazy.
She made a lot of. She made a lot of hits
No, I don't know if she's
And bad decisions.
and bad
I
decisions.
think she performs in Vegas now.
And she's dating some like super young kid.
And she has
It's cougar life, bro.
kids now.
But she's still
Okay.
trying.
Well, do I detect like a hint of jealousy in there?
If you're telling me if she comes to you right now and asks for your hand in marriage, what'd you say?
No.
Why not?
What? Money, bro.
That's right, exactly. That is why she got this young kid.
It's too old for me.
You're, like I said, you're allowed to have your opinion.
That's sad, bro.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying.
No, dude. The great thing about opinions is that Tino's is always wrong.
But he still has them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
too
just
many.
given.
Mm.
You know what he says? You just do the opposite.
How do you feel?
Like I'm wrong.
Touche.
Oh, man.
But yeah, she.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus. Meh.
Great vocabulary.
That was intense. Very mind-boggling.
Just like you said, the build-up was there. We were excited,
Wrecking
and
Ball.
then flat ending.
I don't know what happened to her.
Miley Cyrus.
Well, she broke up with what's his face.
Liam.
Now he's got a new girlfriend, right?
I don't know.
Because he's actually saying, I don't know who he's got though.
I'm actually shocked he got back with her though. I remember seeing he got back with her.
No, she got back with him.
She got back with him.
It was worth an attempt, I'm sure.
Are you sure? Oh wait, yeah, she got.
I'm
back.
pretty sure she was the one who came crawling back.
And they were together for like.
'Cause I don't
Because
understand
they
why.
got engaged and then they got.
Why would
So they got married. And
Why
then
would
they
he
got
go back?
divorced.
Divorce,
Right,
right?
right.
I don't know.
Just weird.
Yeah, I don't know about any of this jazz.
Yeah, I don't either. It's a little bit outside of my realm of expertise. I know,
Yeah.
I got
It's
like
outside. It's outside Cleveland.
yeah, it is
Outside
outside Cuyahoga County. You know, but I got my realm of like extreme nerdy culture, and
And really
that's
dark,
where I operate.
dark memes.
That's true.
I'm in the middle of going through like the Marvel movies in chronological order.
Okay.
So like.
You see that?
How you guys do it?
It's that.
You go boom, F bomb.
F-bomb, boom! Someone say the F-bomb?
No, it flew away.
Yeah,
It's the last one.
it was also everybody asking you if you cared if you in chronological order. That came out
It's
of
like,
nowhere.
yeah, that's crazy, but I don't
Tom was talking
remember.
about his dirtiness, and I was like, I kind of tried to compare the level. All right.
I appreciate the effort.
Yes.
That was a good shot.
Hey, we'll talk later about it.
Was it chronological? Is it? Are you actually watching it in chronological order? Or are you
Yeah.
just watching it in
So-
order of when the movies came out?
So like, I'm watching it like in chronological order. So like when everything happened, the timeline.
Oh, okay. Because
It's
you
interesting.
did not answer his
It's
question.
really interesting, dude. It's interesting.
How is it interesting?
I haven't watched, like, I only watched the big movies, never the little, like, TV shows and stuff like that. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff.
TV show.
Yeah.
The TV shows
So,
never
The
went
TV shows have nothing to do with the.
I'm sure they will.
They
But-
technically do.
They
One
technically do.
down the road.
Shield, Agents of Shield.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
The same
I'm in the.
they all do.
I'm
They
watching
all
that.
do.
I'm watching that right now, and it is so good.
Yeah, but Daredevil's not in the Avengers yet.
Not yet, but it's still technically. Well, it happened in that universe, and I think Disney might have gave it the axe ever since they have their streaming service now.
Yeah. Well, they did that, and now they're actually going to have legitimate
Explanation.
TV shows with.
For specific people.
Like at movie quality,
Yeah, like
the
Loki's
Mandalorian
coming
style kind of TV show.
By the way, I'm very excited for a second season of Mandalorian.
Who doesn't like you, baby?
Dude,
No, I'm sorry, that meme's overused now. I shouldn't have.
oh my gosh, that meme is blown
Yeah, and
to
you know,
smithereens.
you guys are gonna have to pay like a ton of royalties just for that name drop. So you know that's my bad.
Oh yeah, dude. Just saying Baby Yoda is like,
No, there's not.
give me money. Isn't that wild? It's wild, dude. Because a bunch of people tried selling like paintings and like they made their own like stuffed animals, and they called it Baby Yoda, and then Disney just
Yeah.
ransacked them.
Oh yeah, dude. Like at one point, there was just gifs of Baby Yoda, like when the first episode aired, and Disney took down all of them.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's more now, but like with the first week or two, gone. Wow. Something like that. So
it's royalties. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not. You can't just take somebody's idea and make profit off of it.
Dude, there was like a shirt that you could buy for working out. It was like Baby Yoda, but he's got like swollen arms, and it said like "This is the way," but it was like whey protein.
Oh yeah, it's Don Mazzetti.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy one
Yeah, and
because
then,
it's hilarious. But
but it disappeared when I tried to find it. I bought it as if I was gonna work out anyway, but you know.
well,
It doesn't make a difference.
I could just hear the wah wah wah, like right when you said that.
I'll admit it.
sorry. We all support you in your attempt to work out.
There is no attempt. That's
There
an
is an attempt.
I
If
just
you're
said
gonna
there's
buy
no-
a T-shirt, that's an
That's not an attempt.
It's an attempt.
Attempt is the issue.
That's his last straw. Oh man.
I don't take initiative very much, very often. If given the choice to do between doing nothing and something, I'm always gonna pick nothing.
Nothing's always the easy way out
Exactly.
or easy way in.
Depends if you're farting or not.
We're not going back to this.
Yeah. It keeps going in circles, like
I thought you said we're done with this talk.
just
Said
like the
too
broom.
much.
Just like the broom. Every time, it's been 100 years, but like it's
You know what else is 100 years?
viruses.
That's actually before.
Plagues.
Oh, I get it with the presidential election.
See,
Every time an election comes around, there's always some new disease, some new chaos, some new. Every time we're in an election year, there's some
I'm
kind
gonna
of
use it to propel themselves.
political agenda bullcrap. I'm going to take care of and handle this, that, and the other. And it's like, you know what? Why does it always disappear a couple months after the election happens?
I'm gonna go one level above that. And I'm gonna say that this is happening because it's St. Patrick's Day coming up. Yeah, exactly.
Well, what does that have to do with?
Yeah, what does
When's
that
the
have
Ohio
to-
elections?
Your holiday?
Yeah, my holiday.
It's because it's your holiday.
It's you.
You're pissed
That's
off.
the- That's the only
The
day you work
parade's
out.
canceled.
That's the only day you work
The
out.
parade is canceled.
Start
I just heard.
12 ounce
all the
girls,
festivities.
Oh yeah, curling them 16 ounces.
Maybe he's pissed because the coronavirus is Mexican, and it's not.
What are we gonna call
And
it?
it's
We're gonna call it the
taken
It's
Guinness
taking away
Guinness.
the Irishness
Right.
of St.
The Guinness
Patrick's.
virus is just rampant out there too. We just haven't found it yet.
You better find it pretty quick.
Yeah.
You gotta come. How many days till St. Patrick's Day?
When I was in Dublin, I
6 days,
tried
5
pretty
days.
hard and I could not see any Guinness virus.
So then therefore you had it.
I checked the bottom of
Too
every
blurry.
pint.
That was what I said. It was too blurry.
It was there.
Bam! Found it.
I did hear the all sports, like the games of
Yeah, the
the
home
NBA.
opener for Cleveland might be canceled.
March Madness just
Well,
said
not
alternate
canceled,
games,
but no
fans.
No fans.
No fans in NBA. No fans.
No, then March Madness, like that just got announced.
That's crazy.
I'm interested to see how it will look.
No, nobody's making money. The
No.
TV people will make money because people watch it on TV.
Yeah, but like, let's look at the actual madness here. Is the madness going to happen in the March
But it's
Madness?
going to be so weird. These guys are going to be commentating
Yeah.
on this game.
Tie.
This game is going to be just. This
Yeah,
game
no,
is
wait.
going to be just empty, no sound whatsoever, but these commentators, and you're going to hear the players just talking on the court, like yelling at each other.
So basically, it's like a game without the fans.
Yeah, it's
First off, the
it's
CGI
really weird.
nowadays is crazy. They're just gonna
Oh,
put
yeah,
hands
they're
in there.
yeah.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, we could just make podcasts and then like have it go live, and we'll just put everybody has like videos all over the place at the field.
Like,
Makes it look like there's actual fans. So like,
there's like one major flaw in this.
what?
You're assuming people are gonna be watching this podcast.
Huh?
You're assuming people are gonna be watching these podcasts.
They
That's
will
a
be.
big flaw right there.
We already got 2 fans,
One day.
my mom and my dad.
That works.
It's my mom's birthday today, by the way.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy for you.
She's a wonderful lady.
Never met you, but happy birthday. That's your fault.
She told me to incorporate her into the podcast.
She wanted them.
Shout out, mom.
This is the part of the video where you drop the picture, like.
Yeah.
The picture's coming down right now. Boom, it's there. Now we'll have to.
Yeah. Okay.
Edit.
Now it's gone.
Now
Just raise the bar.
it's off. Slide it off. All right. So
That was
Editing skills. This is where you Jackie.
May
Nah,
he
we
rest
got
in
this.
peace.
We got this. It's up. We got this.
Yeah, but no, we should just start traveling though, because of how cheap these flights are though.
Dude, literally $30 round trip to Florida.
Not bad.
If I'm gonna get sick, I might as well get sick on a beach that's 80
Did you hear about?
degrees.
Did you guys
Seriously?
hear about? There was this article that said young people are taking advantage of the cheap flights
And risk of death.
and risk of death. But this guy, this 27-year-old, was asked to comment on the situation, and he's like, "If I die, I die," and that was like the top like comment on this whole page. It was like this 27-year-old just was like, "If I die, I die." It's just so funny.
It's no regrets, man.
I mean, hey,
Not a single letter.
people in trouble.
Yeah. No, I think. Do you think international travel will be any cheaper, or will they be actually more expensive?
Oh, the Trump party banned all of them. He banned
I
a
imagine
couple.
it'd be cheaper, honestly.
It might be.
Because you're getting less traffic.
Less people come along, supply and demand goes down, therefore the price of the
You'll have a lot of crazy people.
He's like, can you believe it?
Well, I've never like.
That's a college education right there.
That's a good education right there, folks.
I've never actually like been on a plane.
We should
I
try
believe
some.
that.
You
Have
would?
You look like it.
You've
You look
never
like
been on a
you've
plane?
never been
Yeah, I've never been
He's
on
not
a
high
plane.
enough fun life to be on planes.
You know when you did like your cruise and stuff?
Yeah, no, we drove down.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, we did those family vacations as a kid. They were great for the first 3 hours, but it takes 18 to get to Florida.
Yeah,
We got stuck in a minivan with 5 other people and luggage.
We ordered this big like van. Well, actually, we didn't order. We got it from the Make-A-Wish. Like they gave us this huge van.
You wished for a van.
Did you put a quarter or a nickel into the pack?
My first wish was actually for a Dodge Challenger.
So you're getting greedy.
No, I'm getting my wish.
Oh, right. So
I could die.
we all could die.
I could die faster.
Okay, it depends. No, I'm ready. I'm ready.
yeah.
So I'm-
God, gee, okay.
if I die, I die.
No,
Oh.
go travel.
That's what I'm gonna do. At the end of the day.
No, so and then I got denied,
For what?
which I didn't even know. The Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Wow, so your wish wasn't good enough.
No, they said it cost too much. And
People go get sent to the Super Bowl, but they can't get you a used Dodge Challenger.
Yeah, but
No,
I think
well-
those people are like really like on the
His
verge of death.
his cause of cause of having a Make-A-Wish wasn't worthy enough of
Yeah.
the price.
like I'm not going to
That tomorrow.
die tomorrow.
This is
You
good.
Hey.
Bring it on.
See ya.
And then once I got denied, I was like, all right.
You
So
pissed?
I was down between 2 things. I was down between meeting Kobe,
Brad's mom.
which I should have done.
Yeah, you should have met Kobe.
Seriously?
That was a moment.
Or-
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, yeah. I was so upset.
What did you pick?
I picked the cruise. I picked going on a cruise because I wanted my wish to last the longest. Like what I could do to make it last the longest. For if we get a free trip,
Mama forever.
Yeah, right.
what we do. And if I would have went out to LA, you get one full day with them, which is great. But one day and then you're going home.
Yeah,
But
but a
let's-
lifelong of memories.
Let's
Yeah.
take this.
Right.
Let's
I
take
know you
this
can
back
always
a
go
little
on.
bit.
You can always go on another cruise.
If you would have met Kobe, you would have
Well-
been all over social media. You would have been on Sports
Yeah.
Center. You would have been on your mom's
I know.
Instagram.
I know,
Unforgettable.
unforgettable. But I was
He's not on
like,
his mom's
you know what?
Instagram right now.
I've never
He's
been
not
on a
worthy.
cruise.
Sure. Okay, so you picked the cruise because that was an experience that you think you would never get back. Do you regret it?
No,
That's all
Especially
I-
with
Right,
recent
yeah,
events.
that's a good answer.
If you don't regret it, then it's all good.
Yeah, no,
But
like
Kobe,
I had a fun time, and it was all for free. Like I said, it was for free, and we had a great time, and
Because of the CF or whatever?
yeah, and we got to like meet the
No, it was the
captain and
water.
stuff. Yeah,
He hurt his,
Whatever
he hurt his
kills a
finger.
lot of people each year.
yeah.
He hurt his finger. Right? It's not gonna make
Hurt my
it
finger. Couldn't make a wish.
Where did the cruise go?
It went around the Bahamas.
Around the Bahamas, not even to.
Dang, that's sad.
So if you look,
It took a hard trip
if you
around
look to
here.
your left, there's the Bahamas.
Your Tokyo drift just went around the entire island.
And all the way back to America.
And it was a great time. Yeah, and all the way, here we are. And it was a great time. I got to meet the captain and stuff, and it was fun,
What,
dude.
what was his name?
Kobe. Kobe Bryant.
It's got a little accent mark on the E.
I swear it's the real thing.
Kobe.
Oh my gosh! No,
It's like the Kobe you get at a Japanese place, and then there's the Kobe
I
at
think his name was Dave.
Dave?
Dave.
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 That's a cool name.
He was.
Hi, I'm Dave.
He was.
Hi, Dave.
He was
Nice to
American.
meet you. I have fibrosis.
There was this story. I got this funny story though. We were waiting in line,
That's really funny.
and
You got me going, dude.
and we were because they said there was another CF family or not CF family, another Make-A-Wish family on the boat with us.
That's kind of cool.
So yeah, we were gonna meet up with them and go meet the captain.
What they have?
So I'll get to that.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
That's the funny
we're
part.
waiting there, and my brother-in-law looks over and sees a bunch of kids with Down syndrome, and he's like, "Oh, is that the second family?" And it ended up not being the second family. It was just a family that had a couple of Down syndrome kids
Okay.
on there. But the kid that we were with, he was like, he had something wrong. Like, he was in a wheelchair, and his legs were like super skinny. Like, I don't know what that
He's
is.
paralyzed.
Yeah, he is paralyzed, but
It could have been a lot of things.
it could have been a lot of things,
Like,
right?
was it like, what do you call it? Park? No, not park. Polio or whatever? Like, where you, like, you can't use your
No,
legs?
he had something else because
Hard to use your legs.
Well, I was about to say polio in America is about gone.
it wasn't just like his
Well,
legs
and
either.
if you
Like
have
his
it, you
his
can do it.
arms were kind of like, they were like,
Shorter.
yeah, they were small too,
Was it
small as
birth-
well.
Birth defects, maybe?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Something like birth defects.
Yeah,
kind of
right,
nervous,
right.
whatever. Okay.
But that also, I mean, like, made me look and say, what I have isn't as bad at all to compared to what this kid has to go through.
Right, right, right.
So like, that just opened my eyes even more with cystic fibrosis too. I can do things. I can run. I can jump. I can do normal things people can do. But I just have to be more cautious with my lungs than other people. Where this kid,
Now, do you have like an
Can't do it.
inhaler or anything?
yeah,
Okay. Is that in your overnight bag too?
yes, and I have it all. I have it all in there.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Everything I need
Uh-huh.
during the night,
All right.
every night, is in that bag.
Better make sure he does.
What? So wait, that was a funny story?
No, it was just
No, but it was funny
Well,
that you thought of
with-
the story.
Yeah.
that it was there. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Right.
You said funny story.
Yeah. My bad.
Yeah, what's the punchline?
There was no funny.
But yeah, I mean, like when
Just
Kobe
sad.
when Kobe died,
Oh.
I did have.
There's a punchline.
When Kobe died, I did have a.
Yo. If people see this, they're gonna be pissed.
I think jokes are kind of allowed to sort of come in.
Okay.
When Kobe died, I did have like a second thought, like, damn, what if I did actually like meet him?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of that second thoughts about.
Yeah,
Sure.
right. But you know,
Especially
my mom was
now.
like, you can't do that to yourself, because
Right.
I mean, we had a great time. I mean, obviously, I would have loved to meet Kobe, but I always thought that one day I would,
You
because
still will.
I do want to move out to LA and kind of pursue stuff out there as well. So like,
what?
I always thought that, you know, Kobe lives out there too. Like, hey, maybe one day, you know, we'll see.
Knock on his front door.
Yeah, knock on his front door, get,
Shot.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, but.
If I die, I die.
I die. Sad.
But yeah, it was a good time though. I did have a very good time. We went to the Disney park down there too. Which one is it? Disney World?
It's Florida. There's a lot. Of
That
Disney
narrows it
parks.
down. Disney World has like 5, 4.
Yeah, Orlando's like theme park capital of the world, my dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
So we went to the theme park capital of the world.
Which
And we
one?
got
Which
it
park
for
did you go to? Was it Disney or Universal
Disney.
Studios? Okay, so which
So
park
there's
is
like
Disney?
6 parks down there.
Universal.
That has.
It was in Orlando.
No. Oh,
Yeah, that's my point. Like there's like 6.
Okay, Disney. Have you ever been to Disneyland?
Disneyland in
Orlando.
Florida. In Orlando. Yes,
Yeah.
that's where we went.
No,
Obviously not.
Disneyland is in California.
Okay, time out. Obviously,
Is it
you've
Disney
never-
World or Disneyland?
Disney World is in Florida.
Okay,
Disney World.
But
Apparently,
there's 6 like
parks inside of it.
Yeah, you got the big ball thing that's called like
Epcot.
Epcot. You got the big
Magical
And
Kingdom.
we got Animal Kingdom, Magical Kingdom.
Yeah.
Hollywood Studios.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which one did you go to?
Hollywood
You
Studios
just see a
has-
castle there.
We went to the one where Space Mountain was.
That's Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom. Cool. That's where we went.
That's where you went.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
We got it free everywhere.
That was hard.
I bet Disney likes all this free advertising right now.
Dude, Disney's getting a lot right now, man.
Yeah,
Disney
with
is
all
not-
3 viewers.
Sponsor us.
Sponsors. Make a Wish sponsors.
Oh.
It's not how that works.
No.
They need people to sponsor them.
Sponsor Phil and I.
Who's Phil?
Baxter.
I'm Baxter. And he's Phil.
We're rolling with it for a little bit, see how it goes.
Phil and Baxter.
Baxter and Phil, actually.
It's around that area.
I think we should go for the Humble Bumble, don't you, Dave? Where we all get the
I
latest
think
buzz.
you should use your real names.
Nah, don't use the real names.
Well, I would
It's-
have
it's-
loved the
it's-
opportunity to use a fake name too. But you
Well,
Go
now they know
for it,
it's
go
now
for
they know
it.
it's fake. So thanks.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they didn't think it was real in the first place.
Yeah, especially
Going,
when you call me
I'm Buzz. Buzz. I was like,
Actually, it was Humble and Bumble.
Yeah,
Same
Bumble,
difference.
Humble, Bumble.
Where we give you the
and you
latest.
both went Buzz.
Dude, it's clever though.
It's funny.
I'm humble. Yeah, you should have seen us, man. We
I'm
were
Humble and this is Bumble, and we give you the latest buzz.
Yo, it's a one-time gig, brother.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I'm not coming back.
Appreciate.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you too.
Let's see. What else is there to talk about? Go.
Well, what do you want to know about? I'll tell you about a lot of things.
Yeah,
Tell you
Ty,
what-
teach us what you've been teaching and learning at college.
What I've been teaching and learning at college.
Same difference. Just don't listen to him. Just talk to somebody.
It's occupational therapy. That means he touches you. So come here, touch me. Do to me what you do to your
Yeah, yeah.
patients.
This is humble. This is Bumble. They're gonna buzz around town.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Tell
Look,
him
you're the
about-
queen bee, dude. Touch them all.
That's his name. There you
Queen
go.
bee.
Beyonce now.
I'm always Beyonce. Put that out there right now.
That's hilarious.
Always.
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Always.
Okay, so do it. They're all anxious to see.
Anxious. No.
What are you, Cinderella?
Yeah, where's my shoe? That's my shoe.
Oh, there goes your trophy.
Put it on me. That's my shoe.
Put it on
It's the
me.
wrong foot.
Alright, okay. So what do you do?
Occupational therapy.
Yeah, it's trying to think of a good way to explain this. So
It touches people.
I don't like to read.
For a living.
Ty is rethinking his whole career right now.
Okay, so essentially,
Yeah.
Massages people.
don't stop.
Oh.
Okay,
For a living.
Ah.
so this is essentially how it comes down to. All right,
Okay.
we believe that people are what we call occupational beings. An occupation is an activity that
Beans or beans?
beings.
Okay,
I heard
beans.
you look like a bee.
I thought you said beans.
Wearing a beanie.
Occupational beans? But
Beings.
beings.
Like,
Okay.
In other words, like an occupation is an activity that has some type of meaning to the person,
Right.
right? And people need to do things. That makes them the occupational being.
Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you.
ING.
So, and then the idea is that we believe that through this state of doing things, like you can improve your own health. And for some reason or another, when we deal with clients, they can't do the things that they want to do. So it's our job to try and figure out how we can make their lives more meaningful by getting them to do the things they want to do.
Now these are people with like illnesses.
It could be anything.
So you're saying I should come to you?
Like I can do like a general kind of thing where like I can target whole populations regardless of any illnesses, disabilities, or function level. Like if I feel that's the appropriate route to go with what I'm
So
doing.
it's case to case.
Yeah, it case to case. Sometimes people have a physical injuries. Sometimes it's a mental illness. Sometimes it's
So what's your preference if you had to work in one specific?
so there's a lot. You can work. That's the good thing about OT too is like if you're looking into it, you can work in a bunch of different places with different populations.
Sure. Like you can work for a hospital or work for a private clinic.
Even more than that, but yeah. Like it depends. Like my route is I want to do school-based therapy.
So like a counselor.
No, it would be more so working with kids that have developmental disabilities such as like autism, like
So
like
schools specifically
neurodevelopmental disabilities.
Those kind of a school meant for disability kids with
It
disabilities.
can be public schools too.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be
Just like wherever the crowd is at.
yeah,
Whatever.
like and it varies. Some places have their own OT on staff.
Sure.
Other places go through a clinic and they travel, like that OT from the clinic will go to school.
So now, an OT, an occupational therapist, would that be the same thing as like a sports trainer, or is that different?
No,
Because like a
dude,
sports trainer has deals with the kids in sports but have injuries and whatnot. Whether they have a mental illness, whether they have, there's kids that have autism that don't have an extreme case, but would still go to a physical trainer rather than an occupational therapist.
So like these things, they can be very broad in like the way you address it. Like for an example, let's say I'm working in a facility that deals with patients who have strokes.
Sure.
And when you have a stroke, you have a lot of impact on your life and your daily functioning.
Right.
So that would be my goals, is the idea to like get people to do these things that have these levels of meaning to them, as well as look at things like maybe we need to change their environment now,
It's
because
more suitable for them.
yes, that could be a factor.
It's like special handicaps or something like that.
It could that could be a factor. Like depending on what you're doing, you might look at a patient's house and see that things need to be changed because like they might not be able to get up into the stairs anymore.
So like they need certain handrails in certain areas.
Yeah, it's things like that. Like I guess a really good way to think about it is like typically when somebody goes through something, like in medicine you focus on these ideas of like let's just get back their functioning, like whatever.
Sure.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it'll generalize to anything.
Mhm.
So the OT can kind of look at these things and be like, all right, let's say that we increased your strength in your legs, and we're
Okay.
like, all right, so how are you walking? Like, can we get you up the stairs? Are you fine in the shower? Da da da. Like, it's things like that.
How do you make your life easier?
Yeah, and like, I mean, granted, that's a very,
Broad statement.
yeah, especially a lot of times when we do things, like, we focus at the big picture and all the activities you could do. You know.
Okay. So
And-
okay, so it's more of it's specific to case rather where we need
Yeah.
a sports therapist or a physical therapist or whatever you want to call it is directly only related to sports.
And that's the thing too, is like we can look at what these people like to do as well.
Sure.
And we just believe that, you know, with these occupations, like, they're inherently more meaningful to you. You know, you're more motivated to do it because of these things.
Correct.
You know, and like
Puts
our
our own twist on it.
our philosophy is the idea that, like, you know, man through the use of their hands can influence their own health.
Sure.
You know, that's one of our guiding principles. So essentially, when people are doing things, you know,
Right.
they're better. They become
Motivates them, gives them hope.
Now I know you're close to, or almost like close to graduating. Like, what do you
Close the
plan
door.
on? What do you plan on doing? Where do you plan on going?
I want to do school-based therapy.
School-based.
Yeah, so a lot of these things will be focusing on kids functioning in schools and related tasks.
Gotcha.
So it could be things like a big one is handwriting.
Yeah.
You know, and working on techniques to prove that. A lot of those
I
kids,
did that.
a lot of these kids, and also in like these school-based settings, might have issues with their sensory systems and stuff like that. Which that's what I'm really interested
I seen a video today on Instagram. I don't know who it's from, but there's like a sensory dog, and so like this dog hangs out with this woman who has autism, and when she starts having like sensory, what do you call it, like freak attacks. Yeah.
meltdowns.
Yeah.
You can
The
like
dog like
Throws himself on it.
yeah, it kind of like
I saw it too.
So it's a therapy dog. I'm not super familiar with them in that context. I know a lot of these therapy dogs, like, they can kind of like pick up on the early signs that, like, you know, these sensory overload things are going to happen.
yeah.
So a lot of times they'll be really helpful in like the guiding principle of like, okay, let's address this before it happens. You know.
Sure.
It has a lot to do with like some of these ideas that
Same.
people have issues processing their sensory like
Sure,
information.
the way But yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff.
And you know, there's a lot more to it.
Well, sure. You're in your masters, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You plan on doing the doctors, or you just gonna
There's a big debate right now between masters versus doctorates
debate with who?
within the OT community itself. So, a lot of schools are switching to doctorate programs. I'm part of the last master's program.
Okay.
So what is that for the one that picked it up?
Well,
That's what we're debating.
Yeah.
Like doctorates definitely gives you the more credentials.
So we got a doctor.
Yeah, but then there's also these ideas of like, some people have suggested like you make more money on a doctor. Somebody says no, that's not necessarily true, and like,
Depends on where you go.
yeah, like there's a whole lot behind it, like way more than I'm familiar with in that
Sure.
regard.
but
And that's just in general, because like I still have a lot ahead of me to learn about the profession and like
Sure.
all these things we're doing.
but the real question is, do you want to be considered Master Bailey or Dr. Bailey?
So we were Jedi, we were doctor.
And that's
These are real questions, Ty.
Well, I mean, I definitely, to me personally, I wanted to just go through school, and I thought, you know, if I ever want to get my doctorates one day, I can. I'll be grandfathered in too. So yeah,
And then just roll with the flow then.
exactly. Like my thought was like maybe one day I'll go back for it, but
That's cool. That's cool.
You left us
Kind
all
of-
thinking.
Yeah.
it's a lot to take in, and like I said,
Yeah.
like that's just kind of a quick thing. There's a whole lot I can get into, you know, and part of the idea is like we need to start advocating for ourselves, because not a lot of people are familiar with what OT is and how it works.
It's not,
No,
a
it's
popular,
very
it's
new.
not a popular profession.
It is growing. It is growing. It's just the fact that it's also relatively new.
Yeah.
So.
And it's good stuff to get into, because I mean it seems like there's a huge spike in the amount of autistic children.
Obviously, you have to have the personality, which I think you do too.
That's big.
To
You gotta want to do it. Takes
Yeah,
yeah,
handle
to
those
want to do
those
it and
kids.
handle, you know,
Those kids can get very complicated.
yeah, very.
And there's even more than that. Like
Yeah.
like I said, there's the possibilities of what you can work with, dude, is just
Huge.
It really is. Like, I had to put in my fieldwork
Huge.
preferences. And, like, I was just dumbfounded at all these different areas I could look at. You know, potentially see myself either working at one day or just wanted to try it for my fieldwork experience.
That's good. That's good.
Wow.
So follow that one up.
With everybody in
Yeah,
this
that's-
room,
That was
it
nice.
seems like Ty has the biggest head. Biggest brain.
Nah.
Good catch.
Yeah.
Speaking of head,
yeah. It
on
is
your
a
head
big
there's a
head.
scar.
On both
It goes ear to ear, yes.
I want you to kind of
Show the camera.
elaborate
Show the camera.
on how
I don't think they can see it.
Yeah, I don't think
how that
Just get close.
how that happened.
Okay, so...
So what's on a band camp?
Something went into my head.
Somebody was just kind of like, it just went up.
Trombone straight to the dome.
Band director was very mad. I saw going to timeout. No lunch today.
Oh man.
So what happened to his head?
So,
Whoa!
when I...
Is mayonnaise an instrument? Alright, Ty, go yourself. I'm sorry.
It's a serious moment. Go ahead.
So, I'm trying to think. Alright, really quickly how it works is like this, you know when babies are born, they have these soft spots on their head.
Right.
And that's so that way, like, their skulls and everything can grow, and eventually the bone will, like, fuse together. You know what I mean? So, the problem with me is that my soft spot, like,
The first problem.
yeah, the first problem.
The first of many.
Trust me, 22 years later, those problems just kept stacking up.
Yeah.
But
99 plus problems.
exactly, you know. But my problem was that these.
Don't say it.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Okay. But a homie ate one.
Okay.
Okay.
Continue.
And what part of don't say it do you not understand?
I didn't say it.
Tito.
Okay, continue. So the problem with
Is
Ty
that-
The
is
problem with Ty is
This is that the soft spot closed way too early. I don't know the exact age of when that's supposed to happen, if I'm being honest, but
So you got a hard head, is what you're saying.
it happened within months. And like the problem was, since this soft spot closed, instead of like my head growing this way, it was growing this way.
alien
Essentially, I was Hey Arnold. Like I was,
You were like a
Hey, Arnold.
like that's why I loved the show as a kid, because when she said, "Hey, move it, football head," I'm like, I kind of get that.
it's relatable. Because
I'm like, yo, she's spitting. Like,
No, she's. yeah. Dude, those memes crack me
that
up.
took him too
With-
long.
with
Yeah,
That took him way too
No,
long.
because I'm thinking about the, because they had ones like with Joe Biden, like,
See the ones with the Browns?
yeah.
what was one of the
It says it had Lizzo.
I
It
ain't
had
worried about no
Lizzo.
ring.
It says Lizzo ain't worried about no ring, and then it has the Baker Mayfield and I think it was on the live. I think it was Kirksley in the back saying,
Oh.
"Man, she's spitting."
Man, she's
And
spitting.
I was like, "Oh."
Gosh. That one hurts though. I don't really like that one.
But yeah, that's the idea of it. So when I was, I think,
Go Steelers.
6 months old,
So you cut your head open to
Oh, yeah.
expand it?
again, I don't know the exact process of it, but that's essentially it.
Let your head breathe a little bit.
They did that, and there was a ton of plastic surgeons, neurosurgeons, the whole shebang, you know.
Occupational therapist.
So you are an actual like miracle. Cause like what was the
Oh, no.
what was the chance of
He goes, "No." He said, "No." Don't get too over yourself, Tino.
So there was like
We still got issues.
even as a little baby even as a little baby,
He's not a
like
Make-A-Wish guy. Come on.
the survival chances they were
Man,
high.
he spit.
Yeah, okay.
He spit.
Now opening your head.
Like, if you would have gone to maybe, like, my guess is probably 10 years before that, it would have been, the odds wouldn't have been terrible, but they wouldn't have been nearly as high. Like, by the time I was born, the procedure to do this was pretty routine. I don't want to say routine, but, like, it was
So it happens often.
not often, but it was just enough to the point where they, like,
Knew
know
what they were
what they're
doing.
doing.
Right.
You know, it's not like it would be, like, some brand new condition where, like, we don't know how to address this.
Coronavirus.
That's not even brand new.
But it is.
It's been around forever.
It's just not mutated, I guess? Is that what the issue?
Kinda. Because, like, what? Lysol has. Or not Lysol.
Are you guys actually like
Perel has
very
had-
scared of this though?
No.
Like Corona?
To me, what's more concerning is the spreading of it, not
Yeah, that's what
me
I
contracting it personally.
because it's spreading faster than
I don't want to like.
Well,
anything
I'm
else.
conscious because I don't want to give it to somebody else, especially if like they would be at risk or one of their family members or somebody would be at risk.
But then it's got to go case to case, because I was also told the doctor over in China who found it is now dead because of it. Who found the cause and brought it to light. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, how many people out there actually have it? Let it take its cycle, they're fine. I mean, that's through any other disease, virus, whatever that goes
I
viral.
heard something like if they're like some people who are surviving with it are going through like heart attacks from having it.
I
Like
don't know.
Well, so Joe Rogan had a guy on the other day that was taught that is like main head guy of the what do you call it the head of controlled disease,
The CDC.
CDC, and he was talking about how like right now it's not that it's an issue now, but it can be, and like Ty said, and like what he was saying was that it's something that us as being younger don't really get it. It's a lot of older people that get it, and a lot of older people that are either most of them that smoke because it ruins their immune system and everything. Because he was talking about how the people in China, all the old people there, like more than 90% or something, smoke. So they're all getting it, and not that you have it, but there's a good chance that you can have it.
yeah, because of my weak immune system.
Well,
He would
or
be at
or
risk.
I would be at
you
risk.
could be at risk. I'm not sure.
Because if I
wasn't talking about you
it,
specifically. I was talking about just like us in general, like as young people. You can have it, but not know you have it, and then give it to somebody else.
right.
So the symptoms won't ever come out on you per
Oh,
se.
they would come, like, you can experience symptoms. The difference
They
is
said
that,
it
like,
takes up to 5 days for it to
yeah,
really
there's like
work.
an incubation period, I know that,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
you can still experience the symptoms, and like that's how they're confirming these cases. It's just the fact that like you're gonna be more than likely able to recover.
Because
Because
your immune system's
great and stuff. That's what scares me.
So what you're saying is take overload of vitamin C.
Is because
You'll be fine.
with cystic
Dr.
fibrosis,
Sam.
you have a weak immune system because you know those bacterias I get and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
get that
Is that
because
what
I
that
have a
pump
weak
thing
immune
is on
system.
your chest or whatever?
Yes, that's what the port is because I did have a
Conjunctivitis.
lung infection. I got a bacteria that I got just like you guys get it too. You guys can get this exactly like me, like this bacteria I have right now. But
Yeah.
yours doesn't stick. Yours goes through because your immune
Yeah.
system just clears it out.
Well,
My
yeah,
system is weak.
It's called a probiotic.
At times, my immune system is weak where it just
Doctor,
sticks
right?
on and it stays on, and that's where I can get sick. So like same thing with coronavirus. It's killing mostly old people and young people
The young also.
because of weak immune systems as well. So that's why I gotta make sure that I keep my hands washed. Everybody should keep their hands washed, but
yeah, that's very concerning.
right, yeah, it is, and
People
it
are
should be
losing
something
their
that's concerning
minds.
because you should be washing your hands no matter what.
And that's
But
how
you got people out
that's how the
here.
Black Plague spread, right? Nobody washed their hands, there was uncleanliness, that's how it spread from person to person.
Like I don't know about you, but
I thought it was the
if I
flu
have just
virus.
slightly
Yeah.
That was a cause of it
dirty
too,
hands,
but
I
the reason
can't do
reason it
anything
spread
without
through humans.
washing my hands.
That,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
well,
Like, it's like,
unsanitary.
I
yeah,
can't even like
cities
pick
were
up
very
a
dirty
plate
at the time. I can see it.
like before I get my food with dirty hands. Like that's people do that. Like it's,
Yeah, it's that's part of the reason why I'm saying the spreading.
mac and cheese.
The spreading of it is also concerning in that regard.
Yeah,
too,
the
'cause
spreading
it's-
is fast.
It's really like showcasing people's hygiene habits.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, because everybody's like, oh, I've never done this. Like now I need to go buy a bunch of Perel
Yeah,
and
and so now
this
it's
and that. And
to me
Lysol
that's
wipes.
what's concerning too. Is like, what if this was like a disease that was more deadly on a widespread scale?
Sure.
Well, it was funny because at Lowe's, all the cleaning supplies.
They're gone.
Well, you
People
only
are
allowed to
now-
buy so many.
Yeah, okay.
They
people
have,
are
like, a
now
limit.
trying to
You
make
can
their
only
own
buy so
Perel
much.
because Perel is selling out fast everywhere.
People are like trying to like up these prices. Like they'll buy them and then they'll go online and try to sell like a roll of paper towels for like $20-something. Like,
Dude,
It's
geniuses.
You know it's
Dude.
bad when Walmart is out of Purell.
But it's kind of
I mean,
It's-
out of all places.
it's kind of weird to me because I feel like we're doing a lot, like closing down schools
For 6 weeks, man. That's what
for
happened
6
down
weeks
there.
and stuff like this. I'm like, okay, I mean, what if it's just like another Ebola thing where if they do find a vaccine or something, like,
Well,
are we real? Are we? Do you think we're overreacting? There's a line between overreacting and
Being cautious.
being cautious,
Well,
right?
my thing is too.
Now, what's the line between that? Because you got schools like there's another case reported today in Canton, North Canton. There's one person that has it in Canton.
But he was also like the first community-based thing. Like he hadn't been out of the country or anything like that.
So he just got it from.
That's what I think they mean. And it's also like, to me, you also have to consider the fact that everybody's like, sure, like you're only at risk if you're old, if you're like really young,
Hygienic.
really young,
or if you have like a weakened immune system or some other at-risk thing, right?
Right.
But I think we're failing to recognize just how big of a portion that population is. You know,
yeah,
exactly.
we as a nation are only getting older because of like the advances we have in medicine, right?
right.
So these kind of things should be considered.
Yeah.
And just because, like I said, like that's comes back to this idea of just because I know that I would probably recover if I got it, doesn't mean I should be more conscious of like who I can hurt because of these habits.
Yeah.
Because you're not just because you're not at bad end of it doesn't mean you should.
Exactly.
Because like, let's say you gave it to me, I
Right.
could have way worse effects
Exactly.
than you just coming down with it.
Exactly.
I just.
But I think it comes back to what he said in the first place of just like your original hygiene habits.
But like, it's just weird for me. Like going back to the like being cautious and overreacting line. Like, where are we at? Because if we're closing down all these schools, I get it. I do.
Yeah, I mean, whenever a governor of a state calls a crisis, I mean, it's a little.
But I
There's
mean,
got to be more reasons behind it than just. I mean, he's not going to just say we're in a
we
state
did
of
have
crisis.
Ebola as well.
Well, I'm
No, they-
commending him on the idea of like, let's get ahead of this.
No, absolutely, because we
Yeah,
learned.
let's get
we
ahead
learned
of this.
Because if you go
Exactly.
back, think about like whenever Obama was, and whenever Ebola came back when he was there, it took him how many deaths until whatever. So I think now we're learning from that and saying, hey, before this hits the
Gets
fan,
out of control.
we need to whatever. Right?
Do you
right,
remember?
right.
Do you remember when like Ebola actually came to this area?
Yes, and after
That was so
Yeah,
scary.
that was
Yeah.
nuts.
Like driving by that house was like the scariest looking.
Oh, it's insane because it was like, oh, out of all places, it comes to Akron.
Well, it was like, dude, like, okay, so we had a football game that day, and like we drove past, right?
Yeah.
We drove past to the house of the person who had it lived.
Where
and
was it exactly?
Talmadge.
In Talmadge.
Talmadge.
Just insane, dude.
Talmadge.
It's
Like
just
you go
insane.
down. You go down.
To the circle?
Oh God, what's that road called that has like the subway, the speedway to Mogador? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Mogador Road.
You mean 43? Oh no,
No, no, no.
that's
It's
not.
right by
Like
the
you
speedway.
go over the train tracks.
Yeah, it's 43.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's two. Shoot, I don't know.
that road.
It's Titus.
Yes.
Titus Road, right? Titus Road.
It's tight.
Wait, what did this
It
turn
turns into
into?
something
It turns
else.
into-
Yeah, like that's why I don't remember.
We know.
Regardless, like
We know.
you go over the
that-
hill, you go a little bit past. Like it's
Sure.
right where Talmadge and Mogador kind of meet.
So is it? Is
It's,
so
it's like this housing lot, and like like
on
driving
the right,
by
on the right or left side?
left. Like if you're coming down.
I'm trying to
like,
imagine,
Mogador,
yeah.
If you're going towards Mogador or towards Talmadge?
towards Talmadge.
On the left side after you hit the tracks.
Go past the tracks, go around the bend,
To
and
the second pair of tracks.
it'll be like just a little bit before Summit Racing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I drive
so,
past
like-
that every day for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I remember like we're looking over and like the bus all just fell silent at once, and like we all turn and look. The whole street has like the caution tape. There's squad cars. Nobody's walking around. Like it's just like out of a movie.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it was like one thing to just hear about it, and all the Twitter jokes and all these things coming around, but like actually seeing that firsthand, you're just like, wow.
Yeah, I see things.
And that was just because one person had it,
Right.
you know, and that was a very serious like illness
Right.
at the time too. So I was just couldn't help but think about like the communities of all these people.
I think just because, like, in my eyes, just because we had that, like, Ebola scare that happened and then it was gone just as quick as it came, like, I feel like that's going to happen with
Which fortunately,
coronavirus.
like fortunately that was the case that it just
Exactly,
like
fortunately. But, I mean, every virus, everything is different, so we never know. Like, because this one has supposedly 3 kinds of sicknesses in one big
I know there's
so-
like a variety of severity. I
Yeah.
guess. Like there's
Okay.
ranges of that. I don't know the specifics.
So
of
I'm
it.
just like, what, like, I know they're launching. I know they have tests out there. They're like, doctors are working very hard to get a vaccine out there. Because
Well, the real question is, are people going to use the vaccine if it's out there?
right, and
Like,
Is it
in
gonna-
all
I mean,
honesty.
Well, yeah, because people are just making this huge issue with vaccines to begin with.
Right, and like, dude,
People are so scared of vaccines because they're scared that it's going to
So
kill
did you guys see the people over? I think it was somewhere in maybe England or something like that. And they were paying test subjects £3,500 to have the coronavirus injected into you, and then you get tested for like different vaccines and stuff. I mean, that's £3,500. I mean, it's to an American dollar. I don't know exact ratio, but it's like
It's good money.
it's almost like
I
almost
don't
two.
know.
It's almost 2 times like £2 is a dollar almost. I believe. So I mean that's almost that's $7,000.
but your life is on the line when
Exactly.
you do it.
But do you need the money or not? There's gonna be people out there that are like, yeah, man, I'll do it.
Yeah,
Especially people
Right.
who are like, coronavirus joke.
Right, true.
yeah.
Why not? I'm not going to die.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is
If I
like,
die, I die.
That guy needs
That's
to
not
go.
the...
You want, hey, you
Bro,
want some
you
money,
know,
bud?
like, you
You
might
want
have-
more?
Yeah, I know.
you might even have
Gotcha.
something in your system, like, and you don't know that you're technically at risk.
Well, yeah.
Right,
I mean,
right.
it's dumb that they're doing it, like, just...
Sometimes it's just the fact that like you have both. I think this is what I've heard at least. Like you could have the coronavirus and another like flu illness or whatever, you know. And that's why I think the CDC recommended you get your flu shot as well, so that way you're not dealing with both these issues.
Yeah, at
So
the
they-
same time.
So like what you're saying is you can have multiple viruses or
You can
May,
sick.
I've heard these kind of things. I'm pretty sure that's why the CDC recommended you got your flu vaccine on top of it.
sure.
With it being flu season, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that influenza A was really coming around the area, you know. So
Wasn't that?
So, sicknesses.
yeah, I mean, like look how many people die of the flu each year.
That's what I'm saying. It's like why don't we have that as a national crisis? But like, because people are arguing there's a vaccine for that rather than not for this one here. It's like okay,
I'm just like thinking like this. I mean, could potentially just be something we have to learn how to live with in a way. It's like a flu.
so do you think?
Like the
Okay,
fire.
you say live with, but
Like-
but this was created.
Right.
So therefore, was it created to cause what it's doing now?
Who said it was created?
What, the coronavirus?
Yeah, it was a mutation of a common cold, whatever. Right?
I've never heard that it was created.
Yeah.
Like this is not a new thing. Like this has been known about. Same thing with Ebola. Like these diseases have been known about for a long time.
Where did it come?
So then why is it spreading right now when it's election time? You don't see no coincidence with that.
Again, I told you my theory. They just want to keep me from St. Patrick's Day.
That's bogus. So bogus.
I'm just saying, like, dude, it's my
See, all
luck.
the
Every
Irish
time I
out
try
there-
to go celebrate St. Patty's Day, something happens.
If you're Irish, I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
You have to stay
Last
home.
time it was St. Patty's Day, you were out and...
Getting
I
trashed.
was out in Dublin the night before. Like, we left at like 6, 7 a.m. on St. Patrick's Day.
Whose fault's that?
Yeah.
Not mine.
that's
I
what
said,
yours.
like, let me stay.
Oh yeah. Oh sorry. Okay.
Like,
Yeah, it's nobody else's fault but you.
no, I wanted to stay an extra day, but it just.
But it is an
It's
interesting
for
question.
planning.
Why is it coming up now if it's been here all these years?
That's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
why
I
is
said
it
that.
coming up
I'll
just
miss a day
now?
of class for that.
And that's why I think
it's
it's in an
To be in
attempt
Ireland
to
during...
kind of balance out
Don't get me wrong, Saturday
overpopulation
night was still fun.
in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that think, oh, the world's going to end. I mean, shoot, man, all those, whatever, what's her name? The Cortez lady who's,
Alexandria.
whatever her name is, saying that the world's, we have like 12 years before the world like is over because it's going to overheat and we're all going to
Oh, because of climate change.
And it's just
Yeah.
like, okay,
Global warming.
nah.
Same guy who said the world was going to end December 21st,
First.
2012.
Yeah. And then the same
Okay,
guy,
well, first off, like, that dude made that prediction back in, like, Mayan times, so there's that.
but at the same time, it's like, okay, all
Same
these
time,
false
it's like,
claims,
we're still here, 2020.
What
Oh,
if-
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
but
just
what if they
saying,
all
that's
have
not the
in
same
common?
person.
Yeah, no, yeah.
what do
Really?
all these things have in common?
Conspiracy.
Yeah,
Sam
the
doubting it.
Sam's down.
the conspiracy of what?
Conspiracy.
It's just all it is just a bunch of fear
Yeah.
to control something.
Yeah.
So you have the world's ending, climate change, diseases, all this other stuff. To control what? All these things are having this inducing fear into the public. Who's actually
To be
behind
honest,
this?
I don't think anybody will ever know when the world is going to end, if it even ends at all.
Well, I mean, it depends what you believe.
But like, I mean, you just
One
gotta.
person does. One person does.
The guy who created everything.
He says with the
Guy who
cross
created
necklace.
Okay.
He says
Can we talk? Can we talk?
Take that thing off.
Can we talk?
Give it to me. Give it to me. I deserve it more.
Take what thing?
His necklace.
I'm just saying, like,
Cross on it.
people who are mortal, like here,
Mortal?
like now, like right here,
Who says
like,
you're
live.
mortal? Who says I'm mortal?
Okay, Brad's on.
Don't feed his ego.
Oh no, the third eye is opening.
But like, people who just like, who expect this,
Not a
who
lot
like,
of traffic in there.
Right.
I'm saying it's like, come on now.
I don't know. I think our perception of like time is so skewed.
Yeah.
Well, time is relative for one.
Whoa!
Topic change. Talking about time and the relativity of
It's
it.
very relative. Like, I'm pretty sure that
Probably
was
Dr. Strange
Einstein's
of
gig,
this.
wasn't it? One of his gigs. He had a lot of gigs.
Yeah, that's true.
He can't really specify the one. He
Could.
he was pretty broad when he had his like. Broad. He could do a lot of things.
This is facts.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is facts.
But time though, it's very interesting to talk about it.
Yeah, wow.
Space.
We can just
Because
talk about it all day
talking
long.
about time is your perspective of time. It depends how much time you have had. Because if you talk to an older person compared to a younger person, their perspective is completely different.
and you're
Well-
taking time out of your time to talk time.
That's what I'm
That's
about to
why-
say. You're
so
wasting my
therefore-
time. Talk about this.
No, this is why I love watching like these movies
F-bomb.
try to explain time travel. Like every movie's different explanation of time
Well,
travel.
I like the Marvels.
That doesn't make sense.
You didn't like theirs.
I think Back to the Future is more realistic than Marvel's.
Yeah,
See
I
what's
would
it
But
take.
Marvel just.
Marvel has a similar idea to Back to the Future.
It was a cool story, but Back to the Future is more realistic.
But Marvel
In my
depicted
opinion, I don't
Back,
know.
Back to the Future.
In a way
Or
it did.
Avengers.
In
Avengers
a way it
depicted
did.
You ever seen Endgame?
It did, but it also kind
He
of
said Marvel.
didn't.
I
So we,
lost it.
Like, here's the thing, like, I mean,
I was like,
Marvel
talking
had
about
the
these
idea that you
superhero
could
movies
freely branch off to different,
I agree,
any
Back to the
timeline you
Future
want.
would be.
Right, right.
Back to the
Realistic.
Future doesn't really say that.
Yeah, they just.
They
said
say
you
like
could
once
go
the
back
they say
into
once the
time.
alternate timeline's made, you can only travel that path. You can't go back to the original one
Correct.
unless you fix the event that caused that.
Right,
Which even then you could argue, even if you fix
can't
it, you're still
cause
creating a
time
new event.
right.
You're creating the event that fixed the past event, so
There's
you're still
no
making
way.
a new timeline. Like,
well, Einstein said that the only way you can time travel is if you go faster than the speed of light.
and I'm pretty sure he said you could only go forward.
Forward.
You couldn't go to the past.
Right.
And theoretically, that's possible because I'm pretty sure if you travel at the speed of light, that you also have no mass.
Correct. No, which makes sense because then you have nothing. Yeah, you have nothing to reflect off of. There's nothing to describe what you are.
Although how I made the jump to time travel is beyond me.
Tony Stark, man.
Well, time travel future-wise.
You know, one day we're all sitting up
His
there.
idea, I mean, how he made that conclusion.
Is it possible?
Oh.
Yes
Like
or
the
no?
science
We sit here and be
behind
like,
that
hey,
idea.
go ask.
Well,
ask-
I don't know if that was just him saying it or if he like presented hard evidence.
Is it booted off heaven?
time travel though.
Oh no, we're going to the future.
So back. So
I don't think
back
you
to
go
the
to
future.
the future. I think it would just take you out of the present and then move you to a different present.
Were you saying like dimensions?
No, like if you're moving at the speed of light, you're still there in the present time, but by the time you get to the future, nobody knew that you were there at that time until you just appeared. Right? Because if you move at the speed of light, so then all of a sudden the speed of light stops, there you are.
So
You
in
never
their real
did.
time, you appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah. So you didn't really
Oh.
go into the future.
So what would happen if you like do something like that, and then somebody is where you are in the future, and you pop up there?
There's a TV show on Amazon called Bad Boys, where it's not the same thinking, but there's a guy, he's called the Train, and he can run super fast, and
Talking about that superhero show?
yeah,
Okay.
and he was running, and all of a sudden this girl
I
fell
saw that.
into the street, and he just ran through her, and she obliterated. And that's kind of
Yeah.
like,
Right, because then
Do you
therefore you
believe in
can't
those
have two people
videos?
in the same present, at the same time, the same place.
right. So it's, I mean that's kind of similar. They just explode.
Well, yeah, but would you explode or would the other person explode?
The person who was there
In the
that got
show,
hit.
that's what happened.
Yeah, the person that would get hit because I mean, then the whole Newton's theory, you know, an immovable object, whatever.
Sure,
you know.
sure.
Well, that's what I was about to say too, because like if you think about it, a car goes faster than a wall.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I know there's Newton's explanations for these things.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just-
but
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
I think
take
when you're talking
physics
about
how
when you're
long?
talking about time traveling though, when it comes to that aspect, you're not. It's not a force running into a force. It's a force appearing where another force is.
it's
It's
not
still
appearing.
moving.
It's not appearing.
Yeah, it is. If you're
It's
traveling
not
time,
appearing. You're just moving so fast that it feels like you're.
right. So like if I was to throw, let's say if I was to throw this ball into the air, and I threw it that way, I time traveled into the future. By the time this ball would be over there, as it was going to the ground, so if I right here, so I threw it up in the air and then I paused right here, I time traveled right to here in the future. Now the ball is inside me when I snap back into it.
But that's different though, because that's if you would have just appeared.
Right.
You're moving, so you're coming through it.
So you're saying
If it wouldn't be inside you.
so we're moving at
you're
the speed of
not-
light still. We're not just time traveling.
If you're moving at the speed of light and you're going through, the ball would go through. You'd go through the ball, and the ball would still be there.
So what happened to me?
But
You'd still go because it's the same thing with
it'd
the
be,
whole like.
he's talking about like the moment he stopped moving at the speed of light.
yeah, but the
and
moment he
ball's
would
there,
stop,
he
the ball would
he would
explode.
gain all this mass back instantaneously.
Correct. And therefore the ball would be like inside me, half in, half out. Let's just say that.
So what happens then? You know what
I guess you just have a ball inside you.
That would not be very
It
good.
would, it
Because
probably
that
kill him.
Yeah, exactly.
because that'd probably be the same thing.
If that's
like,
how it works.
Because
Or would it be infused? You know what I mean? Like, would it just be the ball be here, but like as I'm sitting there, my mass appears. So therefore, let's say it's sitting between like my intestines or whatever.
right.
My intestines would still be going through it all, but the ball would just be wrapped around, and whatever mass would have been inside this air.
Well, if it's disrupting the function, you would die.
Well, no, absolutely. I'm just saying that. I'm saying it's just like
It's going through everything.
everything, and then I am going through everything as well.
Right.
So it's like the ball becomes
Like part of your intestines would be
Be
inside
inside
that
the
ball.
right.
But it'd be like
The ball is inside me. No,
Yeah.
that would not be cool at all.
well, not for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like after you're dead,
for the ball.
take the football out of you, and then we
It's
just
like
like open
shake-
the football, and it's got all your guts inside of
Why does the
it. That'd be
man, it
hilarious.
smells like refried
Be like
beans.
David
Smells like Tino's butt air.
Man, dude,
Actually,
your breath stinks.
Yeah.
Hit that man some bubble gum.
that's actually my
Bubba,
butt hair.
Bubba. What? What? Continue, Ty. What were you saying?
Yeah, excellent.
no, now I'm just kind of thinking about like
Cut it out.
Yeah. No.
I'm wondering like if you were to just have that sudden burst of speed like from 0 to whatever light is,
Publicity.
what would your like whiplash be?
I'll try it out and I'll let you know.
I was about
Well,
to say.
I mean, come on now, Tino, or Ty.
How'd I go again?
no, I'm
Who?
How'd I go again?
If you were to do
Do it
that,
again,
it
do it again.
wouldn't be whiplash. You just fall on your face, or you'd fly.
well, I
Because
just
there'd have to be a consistent decrease in speed. You wouldn't get whiplash from your head unless your feet stuck to the ground like Spider-Man.
Ooh. What if
it
Spider-Man
depends what's the source
was
of
running that didn't take his hands off the wall? If he could run as fast as Superman,
What do you mean?
but then forgot to unstick his hands, would his arm rip off?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? So like, let's say he's like,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
like he's stuck on a wall and then he
Hey,
starts
this is
running.
mine.
But then he like forgets to let go of his hands,
I don't think.
but he runs fast as
I
Superman.
don't think that should be
There goes-
possible
there
in
goes his
general.
arms. That's an armless Spider-Man. He looks like a penguin.
I feel like he wouldn't. I feel like it's all proportional.
Oh my god.
Sure.
How's he gonna swing?
Like I don't think he could theoretically have
With
the
his
leg
feet?
strength to do that.
Oh god.
Like his whole body should be proportional, I would imagine.
Right.
To, you know, but
Which these are just a lot of what if questions.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of what if, as well as like.
Well, time
you
travel
know,
was abroad.
how Spider-Man doesn't even make sense. Spiders' strings come out of their rear, but his webs come out of his hands.
because he.
well,
Well,
okay,
it depends.
technically
There's
It
different
depends.
Spider-Men. There's
There
different
is
Spider-Man.
different universes though.
there's like different.
There's guys who slap things on their wrists. There's guys that actually have.
I do think Tobey Maguire, the way they made his like come out.
I think it makes the most sense. Well, not
makes the
sense,
most-
but it's the easiest to digest.
Right, it is.
Because think about it. If you're making a superhero that's based off of Spider, the first
And
thing people think about with spiders is the web.
Right.
I mean, like, why would you exclude that part?
Yeah, and you just give him mechanical pieces.
Yeah, and everything else he does is such a stretch based on Spider.
Not only that, is like these gadgets that he has on. He pulls these webs out, and they can take down like a whole freaking building or whatever.
But
and it's
that-
like what?
well,
like,
here's the thing, though,
What is
like,
what is in that?
I think they said, like,
What's the strength of a spider web?
yeah, and you realize that people are trying to mimic how spider webs work when they're making threads and stuff because of how strong it
It was
is.
stronger than steel.
Right.
Yes. Like, I read something crazy. There was
Somebody can just create that, like.
That's why it's called a superhero.
I forget how many.
I
We're
mean,
getting closer.
let's talk
I'd
about
rather
Superman,
it-
dude. He's got stuff coming out of his eyeball.
I'd rather it come out of like your own skin. That way, it makes kind of like
well,
more
as
sense.
a
Like,
superhero, as a superhero.
Yeah, as a
Something doesn't
superhero.
even make sense on a lot of that. Like, spiders
But
climb because
how is
they
he
got
gonna get it
hairs
through
on
his
their
suit?
legs.
How's he gonna get it
Right.
through his suit?
That's not how he climbs.
Well, I'd prefer it come out of his abdomen.
His web.
Yeah.
So we're just going.
He's got umbilical cord now.
Yeah. Well, not stomach.
Throw it back.
oh, that was just too much.
Yeah, it was way too feminine.
Feminine. Jeez, thank you. I appreciate that. I would have thought you would have said it was more of a very masculine way of doing it. It's not very. It wasn't the best. I got better.
Put the shovel down.
Huh?
Put the shovel down.
Well, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe.
Whoa, we're ending
And
it.
But you didn't tell me why slippery rock is slippery. Like, where's this rock? Why is it slippery?
it's time to end the episode.
That's on the next episode.
Yeah. The next episode,
That won't
we will be
be-
talking about sports. So, it was nice chatting with you. I hope you guys enjoyed our conversation.
Just
Anything
like
you
and
wanna add
subscribe.
there,
Thank
Phil?
you. Bye.